Okay, so I'm chewing gum. So anyway, I'm gonna keep going back just to the parts that I remember before I jump into the year 2022. And I'm trying to piece the timeline together. I had to literally go and look on my Instagram of what's still there. In 2021, what happened was that there was a trip that we took together, and I for leave. And I remember how much I was making. As a CA, I was making 5K. This is like my first job as a CA because I seeded articles to another firm. Right, so this was still my first job. And I remember we went on a trip. Went on a trip to Hoedspruit. I remember we were looking for places and there's one that I liked. And then he was like, okay, cool. And then he paid for it and everything. I don't know how we ended up going on the trip, but there was a reason why I went on the trip. And went to this beautiful place. Beautiful place. I think I still have the bush baby, something like that. I know I have them on Instagram. I'll insert pictures here of the trip actually. And of me on that trip. And we went in the trip shop. So on that trip, everything's great. The place was beautiful. And I remember we had a spa treatment and everything. It was just amazing. And then I think on the second last day or something like that, we went on a game drive. While we're on this game drive, it was his birthday. I think it was his birthday, 2021. I think it was his birthday. So I remember that there were ladies there. I think there was another couple. That there's a full game drive. And he then proceeds to say obnoxiously and very loudly so that everyone can hear, I just want to say thank you so much for bringing me on this trip. Despite the fact that I paid for everything, thanks, you know. He's giving a whole speech thanking me, right? He's like, it's a whole lolo speech. And then he just concludes to say, I just wanted to say, despite the fact that I paid for everything. Okay. That the rest of that game drive was very sour. I wasn't warm or anything. And when we got there, I literally remember I probably took a shower and slept. Cool, enjoy. I was sour from the rest of the trip. I was just sour because first of all, I'm a candidate attorney. I'm not making any money. You know, like legit. My parents were paying for my petrol, my rent in Pretoria. I was working in Pretoria East. My parents were paying for everything. Was there a need for that? Like, that made me very conscious about money. Because another story that pulls into that is that a year later, my best friend and I went on a trip. Maddie and I went on a trip. We went to Cape Town. And at that time, I had just started at PwC, so I hadn't even worked there for a full month. So I hadn't gotten my first salary as yet. So we had planned this trip before I changed jobs before I finished articles, right? And there's just a theme of red flags. And I remember I didn't have money at the time because obviously I just moved from my internship, like in my internship, I almost hit the firm. The second law firm I worked at, because I seeded articles, then my time there was done. I had completed the amount of time I needed for my articles to now be said they are done. And Bali and I were going to Cape Town for her birthday. I remember this was definitely 2022, October. And I just started working at PwC. And I remember asking my brother for money. I remember asking my brother for a grant because we were going on this trip. And because I just, you know, hadn't been working for a couple of months, and go PwC, I'm still new. So I haven't gotten my first salary yet. I kid you guys not. Nah, I went to Cape Town in 2,000 Rand. I went to Cape Town with 2,000 Rand in my bank account with my best friend, and my best friend paid for everything. I kid you not. Because I remember how I even ended up getting the 2,000 Rand. I remember calling my big brother. I asked him for a grant. I was like, yo, I'm going on a trip. I don't have money. And he sent me that money. Yo, when we're in Cape Town, my best friend paid for everything. I think the one maybe I paid for like 2 Ubers. Dude, we were living it up in Cape Town. No, boo, we did everything, the best of everything. 5-star experience, everything. Bali made sure that I was not left behind. That's my best friend. Her name's Bali. And what angers my family and me is that, bro, we're together. I'm going to Cape Town. You know, I just like changed jobs, and you've known about this for a long time, and you're just okay with me going to Cape Town just the way that I am. Yo, guys, the fact that I still have to actually get to part two, we'll be planning part two, and I keep remembering some of these things. I just want to sit down and just map down some of the events and stuff because, sure, yeah, it's a lot. We haven't even gotten to like the juicy part. We haven't even gotten to the part where things just start to escalate. When I realized that I'm actually alone in this thing. I'm so glad that God carried me through that because I wouldn't be here today. Trust me when I say that. Stress would have killed me. Anyway. Another thing, my brother was actually really annoyed with me because I was on his neck about the money. Like, I really need that money. He didn't understand why, right? And I was too embarrassed to say that, yo, this is what's up. Yeah. So everybody who was with us on the game drive just kept quiet because I'm being humiliated amongst my peers. I'm 26 years old at the time. I'm an intern. Like, these are those that start running through my mind, not the fact that this is the person who's supposed to provide, love, and protect, right? I start rationing it out like an individual, like a person who is on their own. Like, I felt embarrassed at the fact that I don't have a better paying job. I started wanting to work harder. I started looking for other jobs. That's how I ended up actually seeding. Because I felt like I wasn't standing on my own. Like, I wasn't doing enough as an independent woman. Yo, guys. You know, I was so humiliated that day, man. It changed how I viewed money.